In this video, I'm going to be going over a couple problems. This is more of the challenge level. Um, in terms of the worksheets that we have in class, this would be your Grand Slam sheet. Um, and I'm just going to do a couple of the problems. The reason why this is more challenging, this is following the order operations, the PEMDAS, but it's going to include some negative numbers. So you got to remember what we did with negative numbers and how you add and subtract negative numbers. So let's look at this first problem. It is 19 plus 6 divided by a negative 3. And order of operations tells us, parentheses first, exponents second, and the third step is the multiplying and dividing, and then the fourth step is the adding and subtracting. Okay, those are your orders. I do see a parentheses, but that's only there to describe that that's a negative number. So exponents, I don't see any. Multiplication, division, I see a division here, right here. So I could do 6 divided by negative 3. Now if you remember, anytime you do multiplying and dividing of positive and negative numbers, when they do not agree, it's a negative thing. Okay? So they don't agree, so it's going to be a negative. So now I do 6 divided by 3, which is 2. So I got my negative, so this right here is negative 2. Then I bring down the plus and the 19. Now, when I'm adding these, when you add positive and negative numbers, if they're the same, you add them and keep the sign. If they're different, you subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger absolute value. So I'm going to take 19 minus 2 gets me 17. Now I'm going to say, what is the bigger absolute value? Well, this is 2 and this is 19, so it's 19, so it's going to stay positive. So my answer to this first one is 17. Okay. Let's try number 2. Number 2 is 10 times negative 2 minus 8. Now, the other thing I want to really emphasize too is that sometimes people like to jump, like I'm going to do this to this, or you cannot jump numbers. You have to do whatever is next to each other. You find the order and do the ones that are next to each other. So for example, here I have a multiplication and a subtraction. I know I do the multiplication first. So I have to do this. 10 times negative 2. Multiplying, they don't agree, so it's going to be negative. Now I just do 10 times 2 is 20 minus 8. All right. Here, we're not adding a negative and a positive, we're subtracting them. Whenever you get to subtraction of negative numbers, you always think keep, change, change. Keep, change, change. So I'm going to keep this to be negative 20. If I change the negative, it's going to be, or I change the subtraction, it's going to be addition, and I change that to be a negative 8. Now, I'm adding them. Since they are both negatives, I just add them and keep the negative sign. So I know it's going to be negative, now I just add it. 20 plus 8, 28. Negative 28. All right. So go ahead and try that Grand Slam sheet. See what you can do. There's, let's see, 8 more on the front side and then 10 on the back. Do them and then bring them to me and I can check them and see how you do.